Good morning. This is a question on operations with functions. We can add, subtract, multiply, divide functions, and this is specifically dividing. Remember that the word quotient it means dividing. So we've got two functions here, and we are dividing those two functions. We've got g of x equals -3 plus x times -1 plus x, and f of x is 5 plus 9x. Now, we have to look right here. It says find g divided by f of 2. So what we are going to do is we are going to be plugging, we're going to plug 2 in for x in each function. Okay? Plug 2 in for x in each function. So basically what we have here is we have g of 2 over f of 2. Okay, so instead of writing down g of x, I'm going to write down g of 2. So I'm just putting a 2 in for wherever there's an x. So there's an x here, and there's an x here. So I'm putting an x in right there for g of 2. So I have -3 plus 2, and then I am multiplying that times -1 plus 2. Okay, so -3 plus 2 times -1 plus 2. Okay, now our denominator is f of 2. Okay, so our denominator is 5 plus 9x. So now I'm still just going to plug 2 in wherever I have that x. So I have 5 plus 9 times 2. Okay, and we still have to follow order of operations. So my g of 2 is going to be -3 plus 2. That gives me -1. -1 plus 2 gives me +1. Okay, so -3 plus 2 gives me -1. -1 plus 2 gives me +1. So in the numerator, I'm just going to have -1. The denominator, I've got to do the 9 times 2 first. Okay, so 9 times 2 is 18, plus 5 is 23. Okay, so my final answer for g over f of 2 is going to be -1 over 23. Now, there's a second part of this problem. Find all values that are not in the domain of g over f, or g divided by f. Whenever we are dividing, or whenever we have a fraction, our function f cannot be 0. So what we are looking for is we are looking for when is f of x equal to 0, because that makes this function undefined. We cannot ever have a 0 in the denominator. Okay? Cannot have a 0 in the denominator of a fraction. Now, what some students do in this situation is they plug 0 in for x. We are not plugging 0 in for x. We are setting the denominator, and the denominator is f of x. So we are setting the denominator equal to 0 so that we can find out what it can't be. Okay? So I have 5 plus 9x, which is f of x, which is what's in the denominator, and I set it equal to 0 to solve. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. So I'm left with 9x and -5. And then I'm going to divide by 9. Okay? So what this is telling me is that my answer, my x value, cannot be -5/9. Okay? So we have two answers to this. The answer to the first part is -1 over 23. And the second part is that x cannot equal -5/9. You might be asked to put that in interval notation. And if you are, just go ahead and draw a number line. Okay, and here's -5/9. Okay, so that's what x can't be. We have to have a circle there. It can't be that. So I'm going to have negative infinity to negative 5/9. It cannot be negative 5/9, so I'm going to put a parenthesis. Okay. Union, I start again at 5/9 and go to positive infinity. Okay, because now I am talking about all that. So the one value that x cannot be is negative 5/9. Okay?